Laapataa Ladies, which means lost ladies, led by a bunch of obscure talents. I mean, they're not led by bankable stars, but by very talented crew, reminds you that good things happen to good people. Good afternoon, this is Manjusha Radhakrishnan. I'm the entertainment editor of Gulf News. I'm here with the review of Laapataa Ladies, directed by Kiran Rao. She's back in the director's chair after a gap of nearly 14 years. You might wonder whether she has lost the Midas touch or the golden touch, but you have nothing to worry because Laapataa Ladies, which means lost ladies, led by a bunch of obscure talents. I mean, they're not led by bankable stars, but by very talented crew, reminds you that good things happen to good people. It's one of those very sweet, benign and delightful films that you can think of that has released of late. It's not violent, it's not dark, it's not too complex, and it's not cringy either. So that makes it a very delightful watch. What worked for me is the clean humor and smart writing. If you look at it, like there are so many movies, comedies that happen with like double meaning jokes, etc. In this one, it's a very clean film. It's beautifully benign and delightful because the humor is said in a very poker-faced manner. I mean, it's not exaggerated humor. It's a satire that really has your heart. In fact, this movie is not led by bankable stars, and especially in a Hindi film industry where we kind of like, give Khans and the Kumars a lot of importance. It's lovely to see a movie that's not led by big names, but great talents propel a narrative forward. Kiran Rao handles complex themes like gender disparity, patriarchy and feminism with a flair. I mean, it's quite admirable. These are very complex issues, but she handles them into tiny nuggets, into very palatable nuggets. They make you smile, and of course there are some very seasoned actors as well in this. See, the movie does not have big names, like I said. It has actors like Nitanshi Goyal, Pratibha Ranta, Sparsh Srivastav, etc. These names may not ring a bell. You may have to even Google them, but what sets them apart is their good acting. They're very convincing as these set of rural people who are just confused and they don't know what to do when there's a case of mistaken brides and a bride is swapped. It's a case of mistaken identities, getting home the wrong bride. The scenario is hilarious, and Kiran Rao makes sure that she never deals with it with a very heavy hand. There are actors like Ravi Kishan, who's really brilliant in the role of an officer, a smarmy and a crafty police officer. His face is deadpan as he delivers his witty one-liners, and that's what makes this movie fun. I mean, the jokes are not on the nose. The feminism and those gender disparity and themes, complex themes like that, are not on the nose. The movie never gets didactic. So that's what is one of the best parts about this film. And if you also look at Kiran Rao, I think one of the best parts about her is that she's a very intelligent filmmaker, but she made an intelligent film without making it overly simplistic as well. Even characters like played by Chaya Kadam, who's like a natural boss lady. She plays the character of Manju. She's very surly, but she's also like this paragon of feminism. She gives a crash course on how women should be financially independent. Now, these are very simple. Perhaps we know that, these themes make sense, but the way Kiran Rao has dealt with it, it's quite impressive. It's very entertaining and engaging as well. One of the gripes I have about this movie is that, the good things happen to good people. After a point, you kind of like suspend belief. Like, is there so much goodness in the world? But then if you're willing to suspend belief for that bit, thinking that, we live in a world where goodness actually thrives, then there's a lot to love about Laapataa Ladies. I mean, the women are not lost. They may begin their journey as being slightly lost. They don't, but it's also about coming of age. It's about finding their way. It's about women finding their voice as well. And even the parts where women find sisterhood in a village is very, very neatly shown. This movie had my heart because it kind of employs the KISS technique that's often taught in journalism schools. That is, keep it simple and stupid. This movie doesn't keep it stupid most of the time, but it definitely keeps it simple without making it overly simplistic. So I really enjoyed this movie for its heart. If you're kind of done with watching violent and dark movies, then Laapataa Ladies, without A-listers or without big names, kind of has your heart. It's a small movie, it's a well-made movie, and it's got themes that really has your heart. And I think in the run-up to the Women's Day, every woman and man out there should watch this movie. Another thing I thought was like the way Kiran Rao has presented the men. I mean, they're not wimps, they're vulnerable. Deepu, that is played by Srivastav, he does such a good job. I mean, he's masculine, but he's not hyper masculine. He's very vulnerable. He's equally beating himself up for bringing home the wrong bride, etc. And even the family members are very relatable. Even if it's set in rural India, I think every person, whether you live in a metropolis or the villages, will identify with this movie because the story is the real hero and not the names. I've gone with 3.5 out of 5. For our full review, go to gulfnews.com and tell us what you think of this movie.